Okay guys, it's talking time on my channel. This is a new series that I'm going to do considering the WWE Network is out soon in the UK. It comes out on the 19th of January, which means that I can keep up with the WWE more and talk about WWE, whereas now I can only really catch matches on YouTube, and if I'm lucky someone will upload a full show, but that doesn't always happen. So, who is going to win the Royal Rumble? So, obviously, I'm just a fan, just like everyone else. I don't know who's going to win. WWE can do anything, but this is just sort of my thoughts as a long-term fan as to what they're probably going to do, and at least what they should do. So, I've got four names: Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan as my kind of top four guys who will possibly win the Rumble. So we'll start with Ambrose. He is very talented. Recently, a lot of the guys backstage have been getting behind him. What I will say is that he's probably not like the WWE's ideal for one of their top guys. They like really big guys, and Dean Ambrose is not a big guy when it comes to wrestling. They want these larger-than-life characters, and I can't really see them putting him against Brock Lesnar and beating Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar's like this big guy who Cena can't beat, who like no one else can beat who's been against him. Like he just flattened Chris Jericho in like a second. So how are they going to have him go against Dean Ambrose? It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Although I think they could book it well, and you could have Ambrose win because of his sort of edginess and all that sort of stuff. They're probably just not going to do it. They probably just don't see Dean Ambrose as their top guy. So you've then got Roman Reigns. Obviously, he has set the record for eliminating, I should say, the most people in a Royal Rumble match in WWE history, and he is like the WWE's next big star in their eyes at the moment. But the problem is, he doesn't have that much skill when it comes to long matches or promos, and that's not just me saying that. That's actually like supposedly rumoured that that's kind of the worry backstage, that he's not good enough just yet. And when he was out on injury, they were giving him acting classes and stuff, so obviously that's to improve on his promos. So although he probably will win, I think, he does need work. And for a guy like that to come in and defeat Lesnar, there's got to be some sort of there's got to be kind of a big pushing force behind him. It can't just be that a few people think that he might be the next big guy. Like, they need to know that he's the next big guy for them to push him. But then again, the talent pool in the WWE at the moment is quite slim, so maybe they'll be forced into doing that. So the next one, Randy Orton. Now, he won a Royal Rumble in 2009, so that'll be 6 years ago now. And, you know, guys like Cena have won 2. Stone Cold won 3 in a row. I think it was that, and like maybe 4 in total. I'm not 100% sure. But like your big guys generally win 1 or 2 Royal Rumbles in their careers. Now Randy Orton's on 1, and this will be his 13th year in the WWE now, and his career probably is coming to a close. And just like they did with The Undertaker, I think, when did The Undertaker win it? I think it might have been 2010. He, was coming to the end of his career, and they gave him a win at the biggest event of the year. Well, the second biggest event of the year, but the sort of, what I mean to say is like the biggest match of the year, because although WrestleMania, the main event of WrestleMania is essentially the biggest match, I think the match that everyone looks forward to is the Royal Rumble. So they gave him a win there, and obviously Orton is probably nearing the end of his career now, so he hasn't faced Lesnar yet. He was in a number 1 contenders match to face Lesnar against Cena, and Cena won it. So Orton has a chance here to actually come in and win the Royal Rumble, and go on to face Lesnar at WrestleMania, and it will be like the next big match. Obviously, the problem with that at the moment is that he has just got out on injury, and it's just a question as to whether he will return or not at the Royal Rumble. Now, the reason that another reason why I think he might win is just because he's probably, out of these 4 guys, he's probably the most credible, because although he may not be as big as Reigns, and he may not be as popular at the moment as Daniel Bryan, he does have a history of defeating guys like Cena, Orton, I mean Batista, and Triple H, often through cheating and low blows and getting a manager involved, whatever. But you never know. It has been rumoured, and it's just kind of something that could probably happen. That Paul Heyman could turn against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So if you had Randy Orton sort of playing up to his old tricks, he could be in the ring, and then the referee gets knocked down. How many times have you seen that in a Randy Orton match? And then Heyman comes in with the low blow, and Lesnar turns around, and then Randy Orton comes in with the chair shot, or whatever, like something like that, or like the belt shot. So I can just see Randy Orton being that guy who maybe isn't the most popular, but he goes over because of his history and because he's well known for winning matches through cheating, and that's exactly what he'd be doing there. So that's all. And Daniel Bryan, obviously he said that he's going to come back at the Royal Rumble. I think he seems like the most obvious guy to win. I know I said that Reigns will probably win, and that's just because of the way that WWE have pushed him, and the fact that the WWE kind of don't want Daniel Bryan to be the top guy. But I think in my eyes, as a fan, and as most of the fans are probably thinking, Daniel Bryan needs to win this Rumble. Because although last year he wasn't in the Rumble, and everyone wanted him in the Rumble, and then he got put in the WrestleMania match anyway, there's nothing wrong with a guy main eventing Mania 2 years in a row, especially not when they're as popular as Daniel Bryan is with the fans at the moment. So again, you have the issue like you have with Dean Ambrose. Are the WWE going to look at someone like Daniel Bryan and think, oh yeah, he's our next big guy, he's going to be the guy, to go over at WrestleMania, to go over Brock Lesnar, this, what they call a beast. Like, are they going to put a guy who is incredibly short for a wrestler? Are they really going to put him in a match against Brock Lesnar? No, I think that Daniel Bryan could have a very, very convincing match against Brock Lesnar. He's a technical guy. He's very talented. Brock Lesnar's a very technical guy. They could have an amazing match. But are the WWE going to let Daniel Bryan kind of get his skill out there? Because a lot of the time these days he just does he'll just do a load of kicks and a couple of submission holds, and that's it. If you watch him back at in ROH and the Indies, his skill is a lot better than what they let him use now. So if they let him go back to that old skill set, I think that they could have a really convincing match. But are the powers that be in the WWE going to see it like that? It's very hard to say. And just on sort of a last note in terms of Cena, now I don't know if he is in the Royal Rumble this year. Obviously he's got a match at the Rumble against Lesnar, and Rollins has been added to that now. But I think if the WWE did have Cena come in and win the Royal Rumble, that is one of the biggest mistakes they could ever make. He's already won, I think it's 2 Rumbles, and he's faced Lesnar. Well, by the time the Royal Rumble match is happening, he will have faced Lesnar 3 times in a row in a losing effort. So if they have Cena and Lesnar as a WrestleMania match, they are making a huge mistake. A mistake that, quite frankly, can't be rectified, because you're just going to have people not want to watch WrestleMania. At least not for that main event match anyway. So, yeah. So there's my kind of 4 picks. Ambrose, Reigns, Orton and Bryan. I feel like Bryan will be the fan favourite. Reigns will be the WWE favourite, but I think that Orton could probably, like I said, be the dark horse in this match. A guy who sort of isn't as popular as he used to be, and his career's probably coming to an end. But I feel like that if you want someone to beat Lesnar, that sort of is going to be believable, you need a guy like Orton who has the experience and has the kind of win record against guys like I said, Cena, Batista, Triple H. You need a guy who can beat all the top tier talents, and a guy who is sly and can cheat to win. Because if Heyman turns on Lesnar and Orton capitalizes, that'll be a very believable finish. Like I said, if they don't let Bryan have a very good moveset, if they don't let him fight his old style, it's not going to be believable that he can defeat a guy like Lesnar, who is doing the old style of German suplexes and belly-to-belly suplexes and stuff. You just not, like, Bryan just can't, well, I know wrestling is scripted and predetermined, but Bryan can't really do it. It's just not going to happen. So then, yeah, Reigns, I don't really think he's good enough to defeat Lesnar either. He has a very limited moveset, and he's not, like, a top-tier talent just yet. And, like, Ambrose, I think, is more suited than Reigns, but again, it's the size, it's the sort of guys in the WWE not seeing him as their top guy. So that is my prediction. So I kind of got 4 guys in there, but 3 main guys. I feel like it's going to be Orton, but I hope that it's Bryan. So that is the end of It's Talking Time for this week. So do follow me on Twitter at It's Ajax Time. And I will be doing more of these every week when the WWE Network comes out. So make sure you subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you next time.